Yo, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video, here to talk about Halo Infinite, which, yes, has been confirmed for December 8th, but on top of that, we have gotten the official PC system requirements, so I wanted to take you guys through that, get your guys' opinion on it in the comments section down below, and just to give you guys a heads up, I was excited for Halo Infinite for quite a while. Some things about the game has kind of lessened my excitement. I talked about it before, but the fact that cooperative play is not going to be at launch, the fact that Forge mode's not going to be at launch, that's a little bit of a bummer to me. Hopefully I can still get into the multiplayer component, and hopefully the campaign is super enjoyable, because that's what I'm mostly looking forward to now on that December 8th launch day, is the campaign being something that I can really get into. But here we're going to talk about the system requirements, so let's go over the minimum requirements, which honestly, pretty tame all things considered. You should expect them to be tame because at the end of the day, this game is dropping on the Xbox One as well. Now, it's just not an Xbox Series title, but minimum has an AMD FX 8370 or an Intel i5 4450. 8370 FX is quite old, as is i5 4450 is a throwback CPU as well. Minimum RAM is 8GB of RAM, so yeah, these days 8GB is kind of essential for any PC. Minimum graphics requirement is an AMD RX 570 or an NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1050 Ti, so again, very old GPUs there, so nothing too crazy as far as GPU requirement. And even when the 570 and 1050 Ti came out, in their heyday, I believe they were both like $150 to $170 GPUs, so it's not like they were super high-end GPUs or anything like that, even when they were at their prime. So I would imagine that would be lower settings, still getting a quality frame rate. Recommended, it is a bit higher, quite a bit higher, I should say. Recommended processor is an AMD Ryzen 7 3700X or an Intel i7 9700K, so those are pretty beefy CPUs. Even at this point, even if they're not most current gen, those are still incredibly strong GPUs. Memory requirement, 16GB is recommended. Again, at this point, if you're building a higher-end PC, chances are you are going for a build with 16GB of RAM, while 8GB is still completely serviceable. You're seeing it more often than not with the majority of the premier games that are dropping these days. 16GB of RAM is becoming more and more of a recommended, and it's not like 16GB RAM is that expensive. If you already have a PC, you probably have 8GB in there. You can just pop in another stick, hopefully, if you have the slot available, and you'll be good to go on that end. So, yeah, not too surprising there. And then recommended graphics is a Radeon RX 5700 XT or an NVIDIA RTX 2070. An RTX 2070 is still a premier GPU in my opinion. Like, let's go on eBay and let's look up the prices of both these GPUs, because I guarantee you they are still pretty high. So RTX 2070 is going for, yes, about $600 to $700, more so $700 in these listings that I'm seeing right now. Let us pull up the 5700 XT, which I think should be a bit cheaper, probably quite a bit cheaper. Oh no, it's actually quite a bit more expensive. It's probably around that $800 range, $800 to $900 range, so yeah, wild how those GPUs are still expensive. And yeah, actually, 5700 XT should be a little bit more expensive than the 2070. I don't know why I thought the 2070. If it was a 3070, yeah, 3070s are going for quite a pretty penny, but 2070 is a little bit more tame at that, previous generation $700 range, obviously. That is a joke. By the way, one of my friends actually was able to cop a 3080 from Best Buy recently using, Best Buy did a restock, so maybe that's something you want to look into if you do want to get a GPU. You have to wake up early, get in line pretty early, and I think that's the best way to go. It also does note DirectX version 12, and then storage, 50GB of recommended storage space. Nothing too surprising there. So I think all in all, the system requirements are about what we expected. I mean, on the recommended side of things, it's probably going to give you like an Xbox Series X performance level, and then minimum is probably closer to what's going to be present on the Xbox One. It'll be interesting to see the performance level on the Xbox One with the final build, just because this is something I've been talking about quite a while. I think if you do go cross-generation with some of these games, I'm worried that you're not going to get the most out of the next generation hardware, and then on the previous generation hardware, it's just going to be a very, very low-quality experience. We've seen that before. I mean, look at what happened with Cyberpunk. While the Cyberpunk was not a cross-gen game, it's going to get a true next-generation release, but that previous generation release probably should have been scrapped altogether. I'm hoping a lot of developers don't spread themselves too thin by trying to go cross-gen, and try to go a little bit too far where they're really trying to take the game to the next gen level, but also sacrificing a lot to get it to previous generation, and the previous generation just isn't that great. Hopefully we don't see any situations like that, and hopefully Halo Infinite does see a smooth release on December the 8th. Let me know your guys' excitement level for the game. At the end of the day, the campaign is going to be available on Game Pass, so it's going to be pretty easy to access it, and the multiplayer is going to be free to play, so it's not like you have to drop a pretty penny on this. But sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. That's going to do it for me. I'm out, guys. Peace.